Divine revelation, the miraculous DNA that confirms 99.99% of black ancestry in 3 days. Martha Thompson never dreamt that the weight of her faith would soon bear down heavily upon her. In the good hum of their home in bustling England, where laughter mingled with the scent of Sunday roasts, a sudden darkness began to loom. Her eldest son, Jamal, was diagnosed with a rare illness. Doctors grasped at answers, but none were forthcoming. The air was thick with despair as Martha gathered her family, their spirits intertwined with worry. In the living room beneath the flickering candlelight as they knelt in prayer, Martha's heart beat fervently for divine intervention. She channeled the rich traditions of her ancestors, invoking Saint Martin Delaware Porres, famed for his miraculous intercessions. "Guide us, protect us, heal my son," she cried out, her voice strong yet humble. In that moment, enveloped by her family's clasped hands and fervent hope, the room shimmered with an otherworldly light. A whisper brushed past her ear, words not of this world, echoing in the quiet, "Your heritage holds the key." This prophetic message ignited an ember within Martha. She felt the all-consuming pull toward her family's roots, the ironclad belief that unraveling their history might be the pathway to Jamal's healing. The days that followed were filled with spirited conversations and fiery exchanges at home, as Martha shared her newfound insight with a mix of excitement and urgency. But those closest to her wore frowns of doubt. "You can't just pray away everything, Martha," her husband argued, frustration etching lines across his forehead. But her heart swelled, unshaken, as she knew deep down that the past held secrets waiting to be unearthed. Against her family's protests, she ordered a DNA test, envisioning the wonders of divine revelation revealing a tapestry woven through generations. Days rolled into a suspenseful eternity, each tick of the clock heightening the tension. As the results neared, the community buzzed, whispers filled the air, tales twisting and turning like cobbled streets. "Before we continue, I need to tell you about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, click the bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can leave a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, tell me in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. Just as those fateful results arrived, challenges confronted her. Doubt cast a shadow over her belief, with loved ones expressing pressure to turn to medicine instead of prayer, but Martha stood firm. The congregation at St. Andrew's Church became her sanctuary as she organized a special gathering. "We must pray together," she urged, breathless with conviction. The air in the church felt electric, charged with expectation. That night, the parish echoed with heartfelt pleas, every voice rising like incense. As Martha led them through moments of gut-wrenching supplication, a wave of peace descended so unmistakable, it sent shivers racing down spines. Then, just when collective breaths were held in anticipation of signs and wonders, Martha's heart clenched. Could a single, fervent prayer alter the course of their lives? Hope flickered in the stillness, inviting answers while the congregation clung to each word. Doubt simmered even as Martha stood unwavering, her soul afire with faith. With the revelation of their ancestral roots hanging tantalizingly close, the atmosphere thickened, leaving everyone yearning for a miracle just around the corner. As dawn broke over the quaint village, Martha's mind raced with thoughts of the night's gathering. Light streamed through the lace curtains, casting playful patterns on the worn wooden floor. Yet, within her heart, restlessness brewed. The prayer-filled night lingered like a fire not yet snuffed out. She believed, truly believed, that God was up to something. Her phone buzzed, breaking the morning quiet. Rushing to answer, she found a message from the testing company. The results were ready. Her pulse quickened as she gathered herself, confronting the reality that soon, they would all know their history and, perhaps, the key to Jamal's healing. "All right, Lord, guide my words," she whispered, clutching the device like a sacred relic. The family gathered around the table for breakfast, the scent of toast wafting through the air, but the weight of anticipation stole the appetite from their plates. The chatter was overshadowed by anxious glances and hushed breaths. "Are you ready, Mum?" Jamal asked, his once bright eyes dimmed by illness. Determination flickered within him, a tiny flame in the shadows of uncertainty. "I am, sweetheart. Ready to discover what God has planned for us," she replied, the warmth of hope bubbling in her chest. As Martha opened the email, her surroundings fell away. The world outside faded into oblivion. Her heart raced like a drumbeat, echoing the prayers she had lifted. With each passing second, she felt the divine atmosphere thicken, the heavens lining up for what was to come. "Here goes," she murmured, her voice steady. The words on the screen danced before her, revealing percentages and regions, but it was the finality of the results that struck her like a bolt from the blue. 99.99 of Black Ancestry, the screen declared, lighting the room as though heaven itself had poured light upon them. Martha gasped, covering her mouth to stifle a cry of disbelief. Her heart swelled, her lineage traced back not just to a distant land but to the spirits of her ancestors who had truly walked the earth. Jamal's eyes widened, a spark of recognition igniting. "Mum, does this mean?" "Yes, love. This means we are woven into a rich tapestry, heralded by those who fought, loved, and lived." Her voice trembled with emotion, tears spilling down her cheeks. "We have a legacy." Across the table, her husband's frown began to fade, replaced by an expression bordering between awe and contemplation. It was as if the weight of skepticism lifted from his shoulders, the revelation settling over them like a warm embrace. But just then, Martha felt an unmistakable shift. The presence of the Almighty enveloped the room, as if all their prayers were being answered in one fell swoop. How could this be? This intimate discovery seemed to ripple through time, intertwining with Jamal's fate. Could the spirits of her ancestors be there, supporting, guiding them through this dark chapter? "We have to honor them," she said breathlessly, capturing the moment. "We must dig deeper into our roots, uncover their stories. We could find healing not just for Jamal but for our entire family." The tone shifted as confidence took hold, enveloping them all. Each member seemed drawn closer, caught in a web of faith, familiarity, and the thrill of uncovering sacred truths. The room became alive, pulsating with the energy of hope, a shared conviction stirring restlessly. Just as Martha began to plan, envisioning how to honor their ancestors, her husband interjected, "What if this is just the beginning? What if there's more?" And there it was, the spark of possibilities igniting the hope they so desperately sought. Yet, within her spirit, an inkling of apprehension lingered. What lay ahead in the journey to uncover her family's past? Could the path reveal something far greater than they ever imagined? Martha looked deep into Jamal's eyes, filled with a blend of wonder and fear. "When we discover the fullness of our heritage, it could bring about a healing even we did not anticipate." With those words hanging in the air, the family stood on the precipice of both a revelation and an unfolding mystery. What secrets awaited them in the stories of those who came before? Only time would tell. The atmosphere crackled with unspoken possibilities as Martha lowered her phone, casting a glance around the table. Each face reflected a curious blend of hope and trepidation. How strange it felt to have a powerful legacy just waiting to be explored like a treasure buried deep beneath the earth. "Mum, what do we do first?" Jamal broke the silence, his eyes gleaming with renewed purpose. Martha inhaled deeply. "We need to gather the family. Maybe cousins, relatives, anyone connected to our roots." The idea flowed naturally, the momentum of faith propelling her forward. What if we could learn their stories? What if their experiences hold the key to our healing? Her husband nodded, the tension in his brow softening as he absorbed the significance of what lay in their hands. "It makes sense. They might have knowledge, insight, something we don't." The family spent the morning in a flurry of excitement, making calls, sending messages, and scribbling down names in a frenzy of warmth and connection. Each tiny detail felt woven in prayer, fostering a sense of unity that Martha could feel even in the air around them. As the sun climbed higher, its light streamed through the kitchen window, shedding warmth across the remnants of their breakfast. It was a tangible symbol of hope. In that light, Martha could almost picture her ancestors, those who had fought valiantly, living, laughing, and loving in a time she could barely imagine. God really is in this, isn't he? Martha mused aloud. She chuckled softly, overwhelmed by the reality that surrounded them. We've only begun, but I can feel it in my bones, something beautiful is coming. Her words lingered in the air, echoing with a profound certainty. Just then, a gentle knock at the door broke the moment of reflection. Who could it be? A quick glance exchanged between family members, and then Martha rose to answer. One of her closest friends, Sarah, stood with a warm smile, breezing in as if carried by divine wind. I heard about the results. I had to come and see how you all were doing. Martha welcomed her with open arms, enveloped in a loving embrace. As they settled around the table once more, Sarah could feel the energy pulsing through the room. There is something special happening here, isn't there? I can sense it. The family recounted the announcement, their spirits buoyed higher with each shared detail. Sarah listened, her eyes shining with tears, a testament to love and spiritual connection. My grandmother had stories, she began, her voice thick with memory. Stories of struggles and resilience that were passed down, never written but spoken from heart to heart. Maybe I can help you connect the dots. Martha's heart soared. Was this a sign of divine unraveling of purpose? Gradually, the discussion shifted from gathering stories, to deeper reflections about family and faith. Healing became a small buzzword that circled the table like a child's laughter, drawing each of them closer together. How does all of this connect us to Jamal's healing? Whispered Martha, almost to herself. A ripple of understanding washed over them. A lineage intertwined not only by blood but by hope, struggle, and overcoming pain. As they shared ideas and expressed their hopes, a calm enveloped the room. Together, they prayed, lifting the names of ancestors who had walked before them to the heavens. Every word ignited a depth of gratitude and unity, a glimpse of the miraculous ahead. The prayer lingered, settling within them a sense of sacred promise. As the conversation deepened, Martha wondered what other surprises lay in store. What more might they uncover? The possibilities hung in the air like the flickering embers of a fading fire. And as they shared dreams and visions of their journey, that sacred whisper remained searching, guiding, beckoning them to seek even deeper truths. Tomorrow, we can start a family tree, Martha exclaimed, determination swelling within her. This is just the beginning, right? But even as those words left her lips, uncertainty flickered. Could the journey lead them to places they never expected? As the sun began to dip below the horizon, bathing the room in a golden glow, a lingering question danced upon Martha's lips. What legacy would they truly uncover, and what divine intervention was waiting just beyond their grasp? The next morning dawned with a brilliance that filled the heavens, a divine canvas painted in hues of gold and blue. Martha woke earlier than usual, her spirit buzzing with the vibrations of the day ahead. The idea of assembling their family's history was more than a project, it was a calling, a sacred duty. As she sipped her coffee, she felt the warmth seep into her, fueling her resolve. Jamal ambled in, his hair tousled from sleep. Are we really doing this today, Mum? Like a treasure hunt? His grin was infectious, and Martha's heart swelled with joy. Exactly, sweetheart. We're uncovering the treasures of our past, she replied, sharing his excitement. Every story we gather is a piece of our puzzle. The whole family gathered around the kitchen table, the sunlight streaming in, casting a heavenly glow upon them. Sitting together felt powerful, and Martha's heart sang with gratitude. They were the stewards of a legacy waiting to be unearthed. Let us start with stories we know, Martha suggested. A hush fell over the room as memories began to tumble forth. Each shared anecdote was a thread in the tapestry of their heritage, weaving them closer to one another and their ancestry. Sarah chimed in, her laughter brightening the room. I remember when my grandmother would sit us down and tell us about her childhood. She faced hardships, but her spirit never broke. Can we start from there? As the stories flowed, a sense of holy purpose enveloped them, wrapping them in warmth and encouragement. They took turns recounting family tales and cherished memories, some joyful, others challenging. From tales of strength and triumph to moments of deep loss and grief, each narrative painted a picture of resilience. Then, a tender moment quickened Martha's heart. Jamal spoke up, his voice steadfast. "What if we write these stories down? We can create a book for everyone, our family tree with all the stories. It'd be like a legacy to bring us together." Tears brimmed in Martha's eyes. "What a beautiful idea, Jamal. A family book connecting us to everyone, sharing our healing and our hopes." She clasped her hands together in prayerful gratitude. Their work began in earnest, laughter and chatter filling the air. They pulled out laptops, paper, and even old family photos, delving into a world that felt both distant and intimately close. The power of connection was palpable, and Martha could sense the divine kintsugi connecting their broken places into a stronger whole. As the sun rose higher, a thought broke through the chatter, like a whisper from heaven. "I wonder if there's something more waiting for us in our lineage. What if there's a story of faith or miracles we've yet to hear?" Martha's heart raced at the thought. Then, she hesitated, uncertainty creeping in. But what if we don't find what we're looking for? What if the stories aren't what we hoped? Her family paused, sensing the weight of her words. Jamal responded gently, "No matter what we uncover, Mom, every story is a part of who we are. Whether light or dark, it all matters." With renewed courage, Martha nodded. Feeling empowered, she invited them to pray again. They joined hands, facing the center of their makeshift giant family tree. As prayers echoed softly, they asked for guidance, clarity, and strength to embrace whatever truths might unfold. A sudden hush settled in the room, as if heaven itself paused to listen. The atmosphere vibrated with expectancy, deepening their connection to each other and a higher purpose. As they opened their eyes, Martha spotted a gleaming envelope resting where the sun's rays illuminated the table. Her heart leapt. "What's this?" Nervously, she picked it up, a sense of divine curiosity washing over her. Who could have sent it? With trembling hands, she tore it open, and everyone leaned in closer, sharing her anticipation. The contents glimmered like a revelation waiting to unfold. Just then, her phone buzzed again, and another message appeared. Was it a coincidence, or a beckoning from the divine? Martha's breath caught in her throat. What new discovery could this bring? What truth is hidden within? The sacred anticipation hung heavily in the room as Jamal's wide eyes met Martha's. What untold stories would emerge, and how would they shape the journey ahead? The unraveling of a mystery reverberated, calling them deeper into their legacy. With hearts aligned and breath held, Martha glanced at the envelope. The golden morning light danced on its surface, as if gilding the very secrets it held. Carefully, she pulled out a thick sheet of paper, the unfolding revealing compositions that whispered promises of discovery. It was a letter, ink still slightly warm, as if freshly penned by a loving hand. "Dear family," it began, the words flowing with warmth. "You are invited to search deeper. Our family's roots stretch further than we ever imagined. There are stories only told in whispered echoes of time. If you follow the clues, you may find revelations that bring us closer than ever." The room fell silent. Each person held their breath, the weight of expectation thickening the air. This was more than just a letter, it felt like a divine invitation, a call to uncover hidden treasures. "Clues?" Sarah ventured, her eyes glimmering with curiosity. "What could that mean?" "I don't know," Martha replied, heart racing, "but I can feel that this is an opportunity not just to learn about our past, but to witness God's hand in our history." Jamal leaned in closer, the spark of adventure lighting his eyes. "What if we list out what we know? Maybe there are patterns we haven't recognized yet." Martha nodded, suddenly feeling a wave of clarity. "Yes. Let us make a timeline, what we know about our grandparents, great-grandparents, any names, places, or dates." As they generated a list, their voices melded into a symphony of eager discovery, excitement carrying them away as every name painted a picture. The sunlight seemed to grow brighter, illuminating their determination and hope. When they finally completed the list, they took a moment to reflect. The understanding that these names were more than just letters on paper sparked a deeper connection to their heritage. They represented lives lived and struggles overcome. Each name rang out like a powerful prayer, reminding them that their family's story, much like their faith, was a tapestry woven through shared strength and divine intervention. "We need to dig deeper into the family history," Martha said, emboldened. "There are resources, libraries, even ancestry tests that could help." "Ancestry tests?" Jamal echoed, his eyes gleaming. "We could uncover living relatives, even find out more about our roots and history. And who knows what we might discover?" Martha smiled, blood surging with excitement. "Exactly. It's more than family history, it's about our identity. It's about seeing God's plan through our lineage. Let us go after it then," Sarah exclaimed, clapping her hands in determination. "We could even reach out to family members we haven't spoken to in ages. They might have stories to share." Suddenly, Martha's phone buzzed again, this time a text from a distant relative. "Have you ever wondered about our great-grandfather's secret? The one no one speaks of?" A chill ran down her spine. What secret could that be? Instinctively, she sensed that whatever that presence was, it would lead her closer to their divine legacy. "Mum, what do you think it is?" Jamal asked, tugging at her sleeve with eager anticipation. I don't know," Martha murmured, feeling unease mingle with her curiosity. "But I think it may be part of the clues we're meant to uncover." The room was electric with intensity, every heart beating in hope. Each knew they were being drawn toward something significant. They gathered once more, hands clasped in prayer, hearts entwined in faith. "Lord," Martha spoke, her words humble and deliberate, "lead us towards the truth of our ancestry. Guide us through the shadows of our past, and help us embrace every facet of our divine heritage. May every revelation draw us closer to you." With a profound silence wrapping around them, they felt an energy turning, as if around the corners of history, something awaited them, shining bright. What secrets would they unearth? And how would these new revelations reshape their understanding of faith and belonging? As they prepared to embark on this journey, the question lingered, echoing lessons of love, resilience, and joy. Could this truly redefine who we are in ways we never imagined? They gathered around the dining table, the air thick with anticipation. Martha could feel the pressure of possibility hanging in the very fabric of the room, as if history itself was leaning closer to whisper in their ears. The flickering candles cast dancing shadows, a gentle reminder of the divine presence they sought. "All right, let us map out who we should contact first," Sarah said, her voice breaking the silence. The energy sparkled around them, uniting their thoughts. Martha opened her laptop as Jamal took notes, eager to press forward. Each name mentioned sparked a flurry of excitement. They discussed distant cousins, old family friends, and ancestors whose paths interweaved like threads of a vibrant tapestry. With each connection made, there was a palpable sense of gathering strength, as if the family itself was rising from the ashes of the past. "This is incredible!" Jamal exclaimed, the realization washing over him like warm sunlight. "We're not just peeking into our family trees, we're unearthing stories of bravery, faith, and triumph." "Exactly," Martha replied, her spirit soaring. "Imagine how many prayers have been answered through the generations, how many lives have been changed by God's guiding hand." Tears welled in her eyes at the thought of it all, every struggle, every triumph, every person intertwined in the fabric of faith. As they worked, a gentle nudge in her heart urged Martha to pause. "You know, this journey is not just about finding where we came from, but also about understanding where we fit into God's bigger plan." The three exchanged glances, and the tension in the air transformed into an unshakable bond. It was as if God Himself was adding stitches to their family quilt, patching together sorrows and joys alike. Just then, another message blinked onto Martha's phone, drawing her full attention. "I just spoke to Aunt Clara. She's willing to share secrets about your great-grandfather. The message flowed with urgency, accompanied by a flurry of exclamation points. Clara. She always had a knack for storytelling, Sarah laughed, her face lighting up. Do you remember the way she weaved tales about our family's bravery during tough times? We need to talk to her. Martha nodded, heart pounding. The deeper they dove, the stronger her spirit grew. Let us call her right now. There's a calling in her voice, I can feel it. As they waited for Aunt Clara to answer, Martha felt a warmth enveloping them, a silent prayer swirling through the air. Lord, she whispered softly, give us the courage to hear what our hearts need to understand. The line clicked open, and Clara's familiar voice greeted them. Hello, my darlings. I was just thinking about you all. Before long, the conversation swept into a sea of stories. Clara shared how their great-grandfather had faced trials, pushing through challenges that once seemed insurmountable. It was his unwavering faith during those times that became the bedrock of their family legacy. With each detail, a vision blossomed, each hardship a lesson, each victory a song sung to the heavens. Remember, Clara's voice carried weight, his secret wasn't just about survival, it was about thriving in faith. You'll carry that legacy on if you embrace the power of your roots. Martha felt tears prick her eyes. It was as if Clara was handing them a key to their own destinies. The call ended abruptly, but the fervor lingered, wrapping around them like warm embrace. Can you feel that? Jamal murmured, his voice almost a whisper. This is more than information, it's a divine charge. We're meant to carry this forward. Something in the room shifted, an electric pulse, signaling the birth of purpose. Could they transform this journey into something that manifestly connected their pasts to their futures? Amid the gathered warmth of family, a single thought rang clear: what if we become the messengers of this legacy? With hearts soaring and spirits ignited, they knew they were stepping into the unknown, a divine adventure waiting just ahead. What would unfold as they plunged deeper into their heritage? How would their faith rise to meet the challenges of the unknown? As the night unfolded, one burning question lingered in the air, promising even more mysteries and revelations to come. What other divine secrets lay hidden in the shadows of our ancestry, waiting for the light to reveal them? As they settled back into their chairs, the excitement gave way to a contemplative air. The weight of their heritage pressed upon them gently, like a mantle of legacy draping over their shoulders. Martha's fingers danced over her laptop keys, hypnotized by thoughts swirling in her mind. The message from Aunt Clara resonated within her, echoing the call to dig deeper. Let us map out this legacy further, Sarah suggested, her eyes sparkling with inspiration. What if we document everything we find? Not just for us, but for future generations. There was an instant agreement among them, a collective nod. Each family member a testament to faith, hope, and the trials they conquered. It felt sacred, like writing scripture anew, a new chapter in a long-standing story waiting to be told. Martha opened a new document. We'll call it, The Tapestry of Our Faith. Each thread represents a person, a story, a miracle. Her voice trembled with anticipation. We can start with Clara's stories, then weave in our discoveries, parallels to our own lives. Jamal's enthusiasm spilled forth, and we can include our reflections. How we can embrace our roots to help others. His excitement was infectious, sweeping through the room like a warm breeze. Martha felt a soft peace blanket her heart, a reminder of God's guiding presence. We're not just uncovering history, we're living it. This is a divine calling to share our light. Let us pray for clarity, Jamal suggested, clasping hands with Martha and Sarah. They bowed their heads, and Martha took a deep, steadying breath. Heavenly Father, she began, her voice steady yet tinged with emotion, we come before you with open hearts. Guide us in this journey. Reveal the truths hidden in our lineage. May every discovery strengthen our faith and inspire those who come after us. Sarah whispered a heartfelt amen, and Jamal squeezed Martha's hand. Their shared prayer seemed to ripple through the air, each word a stone cast into the depths of their destiny. A moment of silence stretched across the room, and they felt a hush descend, and knowing that something sacred was at play. Suddenly, as if prompted by the fervor of their souls, Martha felt a stirring in her spirit. What if, she began, eyes wide with wonder, the very challenges our ancestors faced were connected to the trials we encounter now? The room filled with murmurs of agreement. Jamal added, yes. We mustn't overlook the lessons buried within those hardships. Each struggle can ignite our faith just like it did for them. With renewed energy, they scoured the internet for genealogical resources, peering into the lives of ancestors long gone. Each click revealed intriguing snippets of past lives: a cousin who championed justice, a grandmother who embraced compassion amidst adversity. Their legacy was one of resilience wrapped in faith. As the hours slipped away, the night grew still. Yet the journey ahead unfolded like a canvas waiting for vibrant strokes of inspiration. Just as Martha felt immersed in purpose, a new message flickered on her device, pulling her attention. Guys! It's from Aunt Clara again. Her voice erupted with excitement as she opened it. There was a sense of urgency in Clara's words, almost like a whisper from heaven. There's one more secret you must know. It's about your great-grandfather's connection to something much larger, something transforming. Martha quickly shared the message with the others, hearts racing at the prospect of further revelations. What could this secret be? How was it woven into the fabric of their family and faith? In that moment, the air thickened with divine possibility. What awaited them on this journey? Would it find them swinging open the door that led to even deeper connections, filled with faith, revelation, and divine purpose? As they leaned in closer, eager to uncover that next secret, one question flickered brightly in the air: what extraordinary revelation could change everything for them and their mission? Martha's heart raced as she shared Aunt Clara's message, anticipation weaving through the air like threads eager to be tied into a lifeline. What could it mean? She wondered aloud, glancing at the faces of her family. They were a portrait of faith, curiosity, and love intermingled. Before they could delve deeper, Jamal jumped in with excitement. Perhaps great-grandfather was connected to a movement. Something bigger than we envisioned. His imagination painted vibrant scenes of past struggles and triumphs. Or what if it's about a great promise? Sarah pondered, her brow furrowed with contemplation. As in, promises made to our ancestors that still have bearing on us today? With the sparks of divine possibility fanning their curiosity, they turned their attention back to their computers. Each finger on the keys was a prayer, a fervent hope illuminating their spirits. They searched for records, letters, and perhaps a photograph that would reveal the mysterious thread connecting their great-grandfather to a greater purpose. As they sifted through records, connections began to flicker like distant stars. Articles spoke of a great gathering, a movement for justice that echoed through time. Martha's fingers hesitated on a name she recognized. Wait. This was about faith, too. Look at this. She turned the screen toward her cousins. Images of gatherings erupted on the page, people raising their hands in prayer and protest, intertwining the threads of faith with the fabric of social justice. It was powerful. It resonated deeply within them, stirring long-forgotten memories and unearthly inspiration. Is it possible that our great-grandfather played a part in this? Jamal's voice was barely above a whisper, but the weight of it filled the room. Look here. Sarah interrupted as she found a news clipping mentioning their great-grandfather as a leader in a local church that aimed to bring light to social injustices. He was connecting faith to action. Tears pooled in Martha's eyes as their heritage grew brighter with each discovery. Can you feel it? The legacy isn't just one of trials but one filled with triumph. This is our lineage, a call to rise, to stand for justice, to live out our faith boldly. In that moment, something shifted. The air buzzed with divine energy, as understanding washed over them. This wasn't merely a search for their past. It was a call to embrace their spiritual DNA, the very marrow of their faith woven through generations. With a determination born of ancestral strength, they opened yet another document. Their shared mission became crystal clear: to reclaim their history and align it with their future. They envisioned a book that would not only celebrate their past but inspire a new generation. But just then, a powerful stillness enveloped the room. The weight of revelation settled in their hearts, palpable and potent. Martha felt the presence of something holy and urging toward action. "What will this demand of us?" she asked quietly, and a profound sense of responsibility filled the air. Together, they reflected on the courage it would take to unveil these stories, to honor their family's legacy and to transform it into a source of inspiration for others. Each thought was interlaced with prayers for guidance and strength. With new resolve building in their hearts, they prepared to write not just their family history but a narrative of hope for anyone who felt lost. The journey ahead promised to be arduous yet rewarding. Then, as if orchestrated by a higher power, Martha felt a sudden compulsion to call Aunt Clara. "What do you think this connection means for us?" she questioned her eagerly. "Remember," Clara's voice crackled over the line, "we are woven into a tapestry far beyond our understanding. You're on the brink of uncovering truths that will transform you." Martha's spirit soared at the thought of transformation awaiting them just beyond the next revelation. What profound truths lay hidden in the next conversation? And how would these truths shape their lives, their faith, and indeed, their mission in the world? The phone hung heavy in Martha's hand, the words from Aunt Clara echoing in her mind. A tapestry far beyond our understanding. It was as if the fabric of their ancestors was reaching forward, urging them to explore deeper. She exchanged glances with Jamal and Sarah, the weight of anticipation pressing down on them. They were standing on the edge of enlightenment, ready to dive into the depths where history and divinity intertwined. Feeling the thrill of discovery, Jamal exclaimed, "Let us look into that gathering more. There has to be something else hidden in the pages of history." Each member of the family flipped through documents, thick volumes, and delicate papers as their excitement grew. Each rustle was a prayer, a plea to reveal the sacred truths of their lineage. Martha found herself lost in a passage detailing a sermon given at a convention, where their great-grandfather challenged the status quo with a fiery spirit that could awaken the dead. "Listen to this," she called, her voice trembling with emotion. He spoke about breaking chains, about hope rising from despair. This was a voice of courage rooted in faith. Tears slipped down her cheeks as she felt a connection. It ran deeper than blood, it was a shared heartbeat with every past struggle, every prayer said in desperation, every moment of triumph recorded in love. She could almost hear their great-grandfather's voice whispering from the past, calling to them, charging them with purpose. "I feel as if he's right here with us," Sarah said softly, her eyes bright with realization. "It's like our faith is a bridge connecting us." In that sacred space, they all bowed their heads. A profound silence fell. It was filled with the presence of their ancestors, the weight of legacy pressing in around them. There was reverence in that quiet, as if the walls themselves were revering their shared heritage. Martha prayed for strength, for guidance in the path they were to take. "Lord, let our hands be instruments to share these stories. Ignite in us the fire of our ancestors so that we may inspire others." As the moment lingered, a sudden urge surged through her, a distinct call to take action. What if we gather people to share this journey together? To continue the work great-grandfather started? We could form a community that celebrates our past and propels us into action. Jamal's eyes widened. A movement. It could be like the gatherings he was part of, a space where faith ignites change. Yes. Sarah chimed in, laughter and light breaking through her earlier seriousness. We can honor them by walking in their footsteps, by being the voices they were. The room lifted with energy, hearts beating in synchronicity to the rhythm of hope. They discussed ideas, dreams spilling out like a waterfall of creativity. Each spoke of possibilities: community events, storytelling circles, outreach programs. Unity was flowing among them, and the potential shimmered brighter than any star above. But just as excitement simmered in the air, a new thought caught Martha's attention. What if we uncover more than just our family's history? What if there are others who want to join us on this path? What if our movement creates ripples beyond our wildest dreams? The group fell quiet, contemplating the enormity of it all. Such possibilities felt vast and uncharted. Would their journey truly open doors leading to a greater understanding of faith, community, and justice? With hearts full of expectation, they huddled closer, prayers muttering fervently as they leaned into the promise held in their lineage. What will we find when we reach the next revelation? Martha whispered, drawn to the sacred mystery that lay just ahead, ready to unveil itself in ways they could never imagine. What transformations awaited them as they stepped toward the unknown? Would their actions spark change beyond their wildest aspirations? The answers hung in the air, fragrant with the hope of divine intervention. Martha awoke with the morning sun streaming through her window, illuminating the sacred space in her heart. Today was the day they would embark on a journey beyond their imagination. She felt an inexplicable peace and assurance that God was as present here as he had been in every prayer whispered for Jamal's healing. Gathering the family around the breakfast table, she could sense their shared anticipation. The air was electric. The journey into their ancestry was not just a mission, it was a divine appointment. Today, we honor our roots while seeking healing for Jamal, Martha proclaimed, her voice trembling with conviction. Let us remember that every story, every struggle, is a part of our tapestry. We are called to rise and transform. Jamal, whose spirit had rekindled with hope, looked at the gathered family. What do we do first, Mum? His eyes glittered with purpose, ready to dive into the mysteries and revelations awaiting them. We start with our shared history, gathering our relatives and unearthing their stories. Each tale binds us closer, strengthens our unity, Martha explained, feeling the warmth of affirmation from their expressions. And so, they began calling distant cousins, sifting through family archives, and piecing together lives lived long before them. With each person they reached, their circle of faith expanded, sparking excitement and unity. As they spoke with Aunt Clara again, she revealed secrets about the family they never anticipated, stories of ancestors who had fought against oppression, rooted in their faith. Your great-grandmother led marches, sharing powerful devotionals before they rallied, Clara said, her voice weaving echoes of inspiration. Every story felt like a divine thread being sewn into their collective legacy. Tears filled their eyes as they listened, every encounter illuminated the path forward. This is more than our heritage, it is a call to action. Martha exclaimed, the truth vibrating through her like a heartbeat. The day melted into evening, buzzing with zeal as they gathered in a community center filled with the faint scent of candles and the reverberations of prayers past. The lighting was soft yet radiant, a testament to the holy space they created. Families filed in from every corner, drawn together by the invisible thread of shared heritage. With hearts beating in unison, Martha stood before the audience, her family beside her. Welcome. We are here to walk in the footsteps of our ancestors, a lofty pursuit of love and resilience. Together, we can weave a tapestry of unity and healing, she declared, her voice vibrant with energy. As stories emerged, ancestors intertwining with new generations, they spilled forth as a rich wine of history, mingling testimonies of joy and pain. Each voice echoed like a chorus, knitting ties of understanding. Jamal spoke, through our legacies, we find strength. Let us honor their fight by raising our spirits in faith and love. The crowd responded with an electric energy, murmurs of agreement reverberating like a beautiful symphony. They prayed as one, hands clasped, creating an unbreakable bond of faith. Cries of Amen resonated, igniting a flame of fellowship. Days melted into weeks as the movement swelled. They shared their discoveries online, reached out to neighbors, and advocated for causes that aligned with their lineage. They were no longer just Martha's family, they had become a beacon of hope and unity in their community. One evening, as they prepared for another gathering, Martha's phone rang. It was the doctor, and the news was both daunting and miraculous. Jamal's tests showed stability, the illness that had haunted him began to recede. It's a miracle. She breathed, glancing at Jamal, whose eyes shimmered with renewed life, but there was more. The doctor shared that the recovery was connected to the emotional and spiritual support Jamal had embraced through their endeavors. In that moment, Martha understood, the power of their legacy was transforming not just their family, but their very existence. Gathering once more in the community center. Lights glistening like stars, Martha took the stage, the overwhelming presence of love palpable in the room. Look around you. This isn't just our past, it is a living testament to the power of faith. We are walking in miracles, discovering healing through our shared heritage. Voices erupted in agreement, united as one family, breathing life into reflections of the past. They sang, prayed, and celebrated. They became the very embodiment of resilience, like a ladder reaching to heaven, transforming every life they touched. As the gathering concluded and the sun dipped beneath the horizon, casting a warm glow upon their redeemed lives, Martha reflected on everything they had accomplished. Her heart swelled with gratitude. "Lord," she whispered, "thank you for guiding us. Our journey doesn't end here, it is just the beginning. May we continue to honor you in our ancestors and future generations. We will forever walk in faith." And as if the heavens aligned with her words, a warmth enveloped her, and she knew without a doubt that they were never alone. Their ancestors walked beside them, guiding and inspiring them as they crafted a legacy that would shine brightly through time. Now, friends, this is the moment to act. Subscribe immediately to our channel so you won't miss the next exclusive faith stories that will enrich your spirit. Leave a like now, for every click fuels the algorithm and allows us to spread these powerful testimonies far and wide. Comment below your reactions and share your own testimonies of faith and healing. Let your voice be heard, and share instantly this video with at least 5 friends who need to witness this divine manifestation of heritage and hope. You need to join us in this mission. Only true servants of God understand the importance of supporting this channel through your actions. Don't wait even one more second to share.